That's what I got to look at when I walk into the VA clinic. It's one of the best VA clinics in the country, though, Las Vegas. Anyways, how you guys doing? I had a follow-up appointment today. It's almost 4th of July, Independence Day. It's a weird 4th of July, right? Tuesday. Everybody's off on the weekend, and then Monday you go back to work. A lot of people went back to work. And then Tuesday you're off again. I want to talk to you guys about a couple things. There's rumors that Gary Gensler is getting ready to step down or whatever. There is so much corruption in this world, man. It just so happens BlackRock files for a ETF. They deny it just for a little thing. I think it's still going to get approved. Gary Gensler's been tough on crypto, been okay with Bitcoin, and now all of a sudden he's about to resign. Allegedly. I don't know if that's true or not, but let me tell you, there is so much corruption right now in this country, man. And it's always been here, but now they're just not even hiding it anymore. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. That guy in the picture, President Brandon, he's the least of our concerns, right? Because, you know, these people try to get us to look one way, meanwhile, they're doing something over here. I was talking to some people that, some patients or some VA veterans in there, and I asked them about the alien thing, because, you know, you just talk to people, and of course that's the talk of the town. Well, about a month and a half ago was the talk of the town about the aliens landing and stuff like that. Let me tell you something about these people, man. Sorry, I had to put my stuff in the car. Let me tell you something about these people, right? They don't have our best interest, and they're trying. Oh, I got to be careful with my words. They're trying to do a new world order, and you know the plan for that year 2030, and they will do nothing short of anything to get us on board to what they want, right? And so, you know, you got the first thing. I do believe that there is alien life, of course, but why are they showing it? You know, why all of a sudden did an alien land in Las Vegas? And then you had a whistleblower coming out who was obviously looked like a paid actor to me, saying that, oh yeah, you know, I got secrets and I know we have them, and this, that, and the third. One thing I know, two things for certain, and one thing's for sure. If the media, the mainstream media, has something out there, it's for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. And they're trying to get us as the globalists are trying to get us all on the same page. And what's that page? To make sure that we're all scared of something collectively. And let me tell you, man, if you thought the scamdemic was bad, that's going to be tiddlywinks for the next one. President Brandon is the least of our concerns, okay? I would be more afraid of Gavin Newsom, aka the American Psycho, than President Brandon, because he's actually capable of actually traveling and going around the country. I mean, it's actually a joke. You know, we've never had a president this bad, and it's an actual joke to see a man that literally can't put two sentences together, doesn't know where he's at and everything else, and the media says nothing about it, nothing. And then you got Trump. And again, I'm not the biggest Trump fan, but you got Trump facing 400 years for some documents that all presidents have. I mean, come on, man. I mean, give me a break. Okay, and again, it's not about left or right, but in this climate, in today's world, if you have any sanity left, when you vote, you have to vote Republican. You cannot vote Democrat. These people are completely corrupted and evil. Republicans are too, but not as much as the Democrats, ladies and gentlemen. There are some good people that register as Republicans in Congress still. I'm not saying they're perfect. Nobody's perfect. But it's the lesser of the two evils, ladies and gentlemen. And the point is, these distractions that's going on here with the aliens and whatever's going to happen, whatever the big, they call it the Black Swan event that's going to happen. Again, it's going to make the scamdemic look like tiddlywinks. And I'm going to tell you, and I believe this, they're going to come up with something it's not going to be good, man. It's not going to be good. And I was watching Bitcoin University. I was just crazy. I was thinking about it this weekend. He made a video about it. He basically said we all need to stick together. That's the thing they're going to say. We all need to stick together, and that's exactly what they're going to say. Just like the scamdemic, they did the same exact thing. And when you look back at that, I was already awake, or maybe I was taking a nap and awake. But when that happened, I was just like, wow, that was insanity to me. And so now you got all this stuff going on with the assets and everything else. Listen, let me explain something to you guys. I'm going to explain it to you nice and simple. And I'm going to tell you something that you're not going to want to hear as a precious metal stacker. But I got to tell you, okay? When you invest in the stock market or anything that you invest in, people think that they're up in the stock market, right? And I'm going to get to the precious metals in a second. Your currency, and you guys know this, is being debased. When you print a bunch of money up, if you look at the money supply chart and you compare it to the stock market, they're basically level. They're even. In other words, your portfolio is just barely keeping up with the money supply. So all that money that's being pumped into the system goes into these companies. Why? Because when 2020 happened, when the scamdemic happened, three things at the same time happened that this country's never seen. Number one is we shut the country down on the federal level and most states except Florida and a few others. That's the first thing. We shut everything down. Second thing, with the shutdown, we weren't producing anything. But the second thing is we just printed a bunch of money. We just printed. When I mean by printed, I don't mean off the printing press. I mean just press a button and these digits just appear on the screen. They could do it unlimited, right? And the third thing is we weren't making anything. So what do you think happens to the prices of stuff when you don't go to work, you're not getting anything? So you're sitting home. Most people that I know, a lot of people, were getting just a little bit less, just as much, or a little bit more than they were when they're actually working. You got all these dollars floating around here, and there's less goods. What do you think is going to happen to the prices of items? Obviously, it's going to go up because it's just a simple supply and demand. It doesn't matter what it is. Supply and demand always says if you have more of one thing, and the supply goes up, the demand will go down, and the dollar, even though it's the best one in the world, it was getting his ass kicked all this time, and it was a lag effect. And I told everybody that, and we weren't making anything. So we were literally having all these dollars out here and all this free money, and people thought they were rich or well off. And meanwhile, when they're getting all this free money, they were just spending it on BS, and it was, people were putting it in the stock market. They were spending it on the big companies that own everything, and it was all going up, and the stock market was going up and up and up. And all people know is they just see that number go up and they think it's okay. You know what I mean? They're just not realizing the purchasing power. Just look back at 2019 at what things cost versus what they cost now. Forget year over year. I don't even care about that. Just pre-scamdemic till now. You know what I mean? It is in a 4-year span. Oh my Lord, it's absolutely crazy how much more we're paying for everything for the same amount of goods. But again, it's more money. So with the precious metals, when you look at them, right? What are they supposed to be doing in an environment right now like this? When there's absolute money printing, corruption, and all this other stuff. Gold and silver, especially silver, should be, because in comparison to the dollars, gold and silver are very, very scarce and almost finite in comparison to the dollars and the numbers on the screen getting printed up. And it should be skyrocketing. Silver should be 200, 300, 400, whatever, 100, 150, whatever per ounce. And gold should be, you know, three to 5 grand per ounce. If you look at versus what the dollars are, there's different charts that say how much actual dollars are out there. This is a global scale. So in US dollar terms, if we took all the dollars, you know, and then took the amount of ounces of gold and silver and divided it by each other, I mean, come on. There's 2 problems though. The paper market. There's way more paper silver and gold than there is actual ounces of gold. And when I used to go to the casino and talk to people about investing in gold and silver, you know what they told me? Oh yeah, I invest in that. And they pull it up on the phone and show me what they got in their portfolio, or how many ounces of gold or silver they have. If everybody went and tried to turn those in, let's just say it wouldn't be nowhere near enough of physical silver and gold, right? The second thing is, more importantly, the futures market and the derivatives. These people that are in charge of this, they want to buy silver and gold at the cheapest price they can, and they don't want to alarm you by getting the prices up in dollar terms or fiat currency terms. And so they keep the prices suppressed, and it's one of the most manipulated markets, gold and silver combined. But I feel like silver by itself is the most manipulated market, hands down. It's the most manipulated, not only commodity, I think manipulated thing on the market, period. Just based off its use cases and how much we need and stuff like that. So now they got a silver, I'll talk about it in another video. But so now you're looking at this stuff and going, wow, what's going to happen to my thing? And I'm watching these videos, and it's comical to me because if you don't know about Bitcoin, you would think gold and silver is going to be the savior. And it would be if it wasn't for Bitcoin. The problem is your gold and silver in the market and what they got it priced at is not worth what it's supposed to be because of the manipulation in the paper market. And also, people don't know about it. They know the words gold and silver. They just don't understand it. Guys, if you think gold and silver, you're just putting all your money or most of your money into that and it's going to save you. I'm just going to tell you it's not. And this is from a person, and I'm going to say this very, very humbly. And I don't mean to brag when I say this. I promise you, okay? And I just watched Ball Guy's video, according to his numbers and charts and stuff, and he's pretty good at it. I am in the 1%, which I have to really think about now because I'm kind of being a hypocrite, but I am in the 1% of not only the world holders of silver, which is kind of easy. It's like a few hundred ounces of silver, but I'm in the 1% of the United States of America, one of the richest, if not the richest country in the world. And it's a very small amount of people that have silver. But I'm also in a very high percentage in Bitcoin. And I'm telling you this not to brag. I'm telling you this because I come from a very, very unique perspective. There's not a lot of people out here like me. And I'm not saying that like I'm better than anybody. I'm just saying when I got into gold and silver, I didn't know about Bitcoin. So I had a lot of money in the market. And when I say a lot of money, well, 2 things. When I say a lot of money to me, a big percentage for me, right? And also, when I talk about the 1%, I'm not saying that to brag or anything. I promise you I'm not. I'm just letting you know what perspective I'm coming from, right? And let me say this. I'm far from rich, okay? I'm not this multi-millionaire. I've done well in my life, and I made some good decisions. Not all decisions. And I'm very blessed. I am very blessed. But I'm not this super rich guy, okay? But I come from a very unique perspective that a lot of people can't. I'm in a very small percentage. I'm in a small percentage just with my Bitcoin holdings, and then I'm a very small percentage in my silver holdings. But those 2 combined, I'm an even more rare air, right? So you're talking to a person that knows what he's talking about. I'm not an expert, but I'm telling you I know what I'm talking about. And when you live in an echo chamber, this is why my channel doesn't do very well, because YouTube doesn't push out my information, not because I'm this guru and I got all the answers. I'm not talking about that. I will never, ever, I will leave YouTube before I tell you a lie. I would never, ever compromise myself or any of you guys to tell you something just to get clicks and views. I'm not going to do it. I could easily grow my channel and just show my hands and just talk about silver, get a bunch of gold, and just talk about the market of gold and silver and how it's manipulated. I could do that. The problem is it's not the truth. I cannot in good faith do that. And you only know what you know. There's so many unknowns that you don't know. And I'm telling you right now, if you think gold and silver, and this is going to be very hard to hear this, okay, as a gold and silver stacker, because it was hard for me and I was only in for a few months. So somebody that's been in for years, you know, especially the people that have been fed that Bitcoin is fairy dust and is tulips and it's not backed by anything and all this other stuff. You know, my question to you, when somebody says, is gold and silver backed anything? Is Bitcoin backed anything? What's gold and silver backed by? You know, I'm not saying it's not backed by anything. And somebody will say, oh, it's backed by God. Very true. You know, it's God's money and everything else. But the dollar is supposed to be back to gold, and it's not, right? Now, I'm not here to make an argument to go against Bitcoin and the precious metals and gold in particular, because I have a heavy position in silver, like I said before, and I'm thinking about taking some down, and I'll make a video taking the percentage down, but I'm going to make a video of the 5 reasons why I still have silver. So stay tuned for that as a Bitcoin stacker, because I'm a Bitcoiner now, ladies and gentlemen. I've always been an investor, entrepreneur, whatever, but now I'm turning into a Bitcoiner. But I love my silver, and I know you do too. And this is what I'm calling to talk to you about. You saw my video when it says how much Bitcoin you need. You don't need that much, right? But don't be a person that depends on silver and gold to save you in a digital world. Okay, we live in a digital world. I know gold and silver is great. I know it's better than dollars. I know it's God's money. I know it's manipulated. I know it's real money. I know all the stuff that you're already going to say to me in the comments. And I'm not telling you not to say it, but I'm telling you, in a digital world, what are you going to do with your gold and silver? There's not enough people to transact back and forth. You can't move it to anybody else online. You can't buy things online with it in a discreet manner. I guess you can send it to somebody or whatever. It's just not practical, right? It's cool to have it as an investment and things like that, but if you think it's going to save you in a digital world, or a world where you have to maybe move around or leave the country or something like that, and it's going to stop and save the CBDCs, you're sadly mistaken, okay? If you're going to bring silver and gold to a fight against the CBDCs, that's the equivalent of the CBDCs, the bad guys, having an army with guys filled with machine guns and rifles and all kind of heavy artillery, and you coming in there with swords, okay? The old way, it's not going to work. The only way you can defeat CBDCs is with another digital currency. The reason why CBDCs are made, because they want to stop Bitcoin. They want their own digital money because they saw the writing on the wall with Bitcoin. Behind the scenes, they know Bitcoin cannot be stopped. And I'm not talking about shit coins and cryptocurrencies. I'm not talking about that. Now, I know there's probably some out there that's good and stuff like that. You know, you know how I feel about those. And if those are projects and you want to go to the casino, because that's what cryptos are, casinos to me. If you want to gamble, be my guest. But if you want something with a high probability and a finite item, you can't beat Bitcoin, man. And you gotta get off zero. Again, I am not telling anybody, it's not financial advice. I'm not telling anybody to sell their precious metals to get Bitcoin. I am not saying that. If you feel like, if you got 50% or 40% or whatever percentage you got in your precious metals, you want to keep that? Be my guest, keep that. You don't need that much. You can go on an exchange right now. You can go on Cash App. You can go on Venmo too. There's all kind of on-ramps to get Bitcoin. You can get a little over 3,000 Satoshis for $1. Now that may not mean anything to you right now. But again, there's only going to be 21 million ever minted. You will never see 21 million, and neither will I, because the last one's going to be mined in the year 2140, right? And we're a long way from that. Our grandkids will see that, but not us. And so we're going to see about just 19 million Bitcoin that have been mined that are out there. But a lot of them have been lost, and most of them are in people's wallets because they hold them. It's the most valuable asset in the world to people that know what Bitcoin is. It's not that valuable to you because you don't understand it. But once you do understand it, you will. But if you don't like Bitcoin and you don't believe in it, that's fine, right? Just do the research on it. But the main thing is, I'm telling you, is to get off of zero. Get as much as you can that you're willing to risk, and get what you need to help fight against these central bank digital currencies. In order to fight a war or a battle, you need a lot of different battalions. You need land, air, sea, right? That's why I told you those three assets I told you about yesterday: Bitcoin, silver, and cash. I won't just stay in cash. I won't just stay in silver. I won't just stay in Bitcoin. You got to be diverse, ladies and gentlemen. You have to be. And so with this stuff going on in today's world, this guy's staring at me. This stuff going on in today's world, you got to be ready, and you got to be armed. Land, sea, and air. Okay? And I'm telling you right now, there is something coming. I don't know what it is, but the globalists ain't having none of this, man. I heard that the election may not even happen. I was watching Patrick Bet-David's videos from last week, and he had a guy on there who was a war expert. I was going to break that video down, and he basically saying that he doesn't even think the election is going to happen. It's going to be some kind of chaos. And if that's the case, besides all that other stuff I just talked about, those three things, you need to have your preparations ready. You need to have everything that you need now, that you're going to need for the next couple of months or years or 2 years, and get it now while it's cheap and while it's easy to get and while everybody else is not getting it. Again, guys, if you don't hold it, you don't own it, right? If you don't have enough groceries, you don't own it. Meaning you can't just go to the grocery store and get it, because in normal times you can just go and get it. You can't get it. Just the same as Bitcoin, if you have it on exchange and the exchange goes insolvent, you can't get your Bitcoin out. If you have gold and silver on the paper market and things get messed up, you're not gonna be able to get it. If you have stocks, bonds, and all this other stuff, you're not gonna be able to get it. If you have your cash in the bank and something happens, you're not gonna be able to get it. So you gotta stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Get yourself some Bitcoin and get off zero, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? And then learn about it as much as you can. You already know everything you need to know about silver and gold. You don't have to keep watching silver and gold videos. I'm not telling you what to do, but you know what I'm talking about, okay? Get out of the echo chamber and get in the 21st century, okay? Gold's been around for 5,000, 6,000 years. If that's the case, because people always tell me, it's been around so long, then why doesn't everybody have it? If it's so popular and so great, why doesn't everybody have it? There's a reason for that, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin survives 5,000 to 6,000 years. I guarantee you it'll be a lot more than 5% of people on the planet that'll have it, so as a financial instrument. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I love each and every one of you. I just had to talk to you real quick because I was in the VA center and I was talking to people, and they're just lost, man. They're just absolutely lost. And the mainstream media, I tell you, boy, they do a good job, but we're gaining on them, man. We're gaining on them. And with all these independent media coming out and all these journalists, independent journalists, it's good. But the problem is these elitists and these globalists need to stop us, and they're going to do something big. They did it in 2020, and trust me, they're going to do it again. And just be ready, okay? I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.